Minecraft has changed a lot over the years, and every single update cycle we see some great new things added. Not only that, but the hype around new updates and the guessing game of what the next theme will be is always fun as well, swiftly followed by the disappointment when the update doesn't live up to everyone's high expectations. But I'll put my cynical side to one, well, side for now, as we talk about the best updates that Mojang have ever brought us for Minecraft. Now, there are some ground rules here. Number one, we are only talking about full release updates, so nothing from beta or alpha, because that's its own can of worms. We'll probably do videos about that at a later date. Secondly, this list is objectively correct, and if you disagree with any of it, well, I don't know what to tell you. But anyway, let's get into it. At number 7, we have 1.13, Update Aquatic. And no, I still have no idea why it's called Update Aquatic rather than the Aquatic update kind of breaking from the theme. It also broke the theme of the oceans of Minecraft being boring, with them just being sand and gravel as far as the eye can see. And for the first time ever, they actually looked properly beautiful, with plenty of new plants, not to mention mobs as well, like dolphins and fish that you can actually see for once and aren't just a figment of your imagination whilst fishing. Well, okay, you still can't see fish whilst fishing, which is a bit weird, but still you get my point. They made the ocean so diverse, and I mean, you can't get more diverse than the thousands of new variants of tropical fish alone that this update added. Plus new underwater structures like shipwrecks and ocean ruins, and it is a great mix overall, not to mention the fact that this is the update we got the Trident. The first new weapon added to the game since, what, the introduction of the sword and bow? Now, the main reason that this update isn't higher on this list is that, by their very nature, you don't really go into the oceans that much. They kind of just mostly a commute between other places. And sure, while it's nice that the commute looks stunning now, it doesn't change the fact you just don't interact with a lot of these elements too often. Now, granted, things like the conduit, which is kind of like a water beacon, made it so much easier for players to build the bases below sea level. However, a lot of players still prefer to build on dry land, and who can blame them? I don't think I'd want to be wet 24/7. What allows this update to clutch this top 7 list is all the other features that were added that don't require you getting your feet wet. Buried treasures are fun adventures to go on. Blue ice has taken the utility of ice and made it even better. Not to mention that we've finally got trapdoors, pressure plates, buttons and more in other wood variants apart from oak. Plus stripped logs were added as well, which are still some of my favorite blocks in the game. And for better or worse, the phantoms were added as well, which I personally like. They add a lot of spice to the game, but I know a lot of people are regretting voting for them in the mob vote. Not to mention that prismarine stairs and slab variants were also added as well. Plus the new bubble columns have changed the way we transport both items and people in Minecraft for good. So while the changes to the oceans are fantastic, it's also all the stuff you can do not in the oceans that give Update Aquatic its spot in this top 7 list. 1.11 was part of the series of very strange small updates we got between 2016 and 2017. However, it's probably the best example of the quality over quantity approach, because the things that were added in this smaller update to the game changed it forever. The most recognizable part of this update are probably the new Woodland mansions. And of course with them, we saw the introduction of the Illager kind to Minecraft, which have since played a much larger role in the overall world of the game. That also means we got those little flying devils, the Vexes, which I still hate, and the game-changing Totem of Undying. Though despite them being one of the largest structures in the game, it's insane that they can be overshadowed by some of the, well, physically smaller parts of this update, but impactful nonetheless. The biggest of which is, of course, the shulker box. I still remember fondly to this day the announcement of these at Minecon. The insane reaction of the crowd in the theatre, as well as my own giddy excitement at the possibilities that this provides. Finally, a brand new item to address the huge space constraints in Minecraft, making them one of the most revolutionary additions to the game in a long time. That isn't the only game-changing part of this update, because in the minor revision 1.11.1, we also saw the addition of firework boosting. all of a sudden making elytras the most busted way to get around your Minecraft world. And we can't imagine Minecraft without it now. And of course we can't forget about observers, which were one of the biggest additions in Redstone in years. As far as big additions go, that's about it in 1.11, but like I said, it is a quality over quantity thing. Sure, we had a few other nice touches here and there, like the llamas, or the brand new curses enchantments, which haven't seen too much use. Add that a bunch more quality of life improvements, and you have an update that cemented itself as one of the smaller, but one of the most impactful in the history of the game. 1.8, which came out in 2014, is a special one for me, because this is about the time I started playing Minecraft, or at least on PC. People waited a long time for this update, but it was oh so worth it, because, well, the name, the Bountiful update, I'd say describes it pretty well. It doesn't have a set theme, rather it expands on pretty much everything the game has to offer. Probably the thing that people remember the most about this update being ocean monuments, and all that entails. Prismarine, guardians, sponges, etc. And well, that's a nice addition. It's not really that revolutionary or groundbreaking to how we play Minecraft. Okay, so if you want more, how about rabbits, which also don't really add much to the game. Not even today, because bundles are still kind of a limbo. Okay, so how about slime blocks, which gave way to so many amazing mechanics, both in Redstone and its general bouncy utility. What about the underground becoming more interesting and varied with granite, andesite, and diorite being introduced? What about banners, which gave players brand new ways to express themselves in a way we haven't really seen before? Or armor stands, which not only look great, but also caused a revolution when it comes to custom map making and commands in Minecraft. And we all can't forget the biggest update of all, the fact that sheep finally dropped mutton. Add to that door fence and fence gate varieties for different wood types, iron trapdoors, the slimmer Alex player model, red sandstone, and a bunch of balancing tweaks and behind the scenes updates that make it, well, very bountiful and extremely impactful to this game and how we play it to this very day. The oldest update on this list today is Minecraft 1.4, released in 2012. Well, okay, technically it's 1.4.2 for some reason, but I'm not getting into that just now. If you want to try and understand that mess, just read the wiki. It was the very first update with a name and theme, and it added so many things that we just can't imagine living without now. On the scary part, of course, it added the wither skeleton, which means the wither, which means the beacon as well. On the scary side, it also added witches and bats, but I mean, does anyone really care that much? However, the game's second boss isn't the only groundbreaking thing in this update. How about the introduction of command blocks? The things that changed the game forever, making custom experiences possible and catapulted the game's popularity as a result, given how making custom maps and experiences all of a sudden became actually feasible. Or what about mob heads? The pretty scary update also completely redone the enchantment system and also given us anvils. Another thing we can't really imagine living without now. Add to that other minor changes, like for example the introduction of cobblestone walls and the mossy variants, carrots, potatoes and all the variants those ensue, potions of night vision and invisibility, which still remain to this day some of the most useful potions, plus item frames, witch hoods, and there's so many other minor changes to help modernize the game, and it is one of the most important updates in those early days of the game. This is the update that also gave us fireworks, though more specifically in the minor iteration 1.4.6. And there's not a single feature that it added that I can confidently say I could live without. Well, okay, maybe bats, but they're cute at least, I guess. This is a bit of a weird one. We all knew that Caves and Cliffs was a bit of a mess, first splitting it up into both 1.17 and then 1.18, and then finally the Deep Dark and the Warden, everything was delayed even further into the Wild update. But all of that aside, 1.18 is the happy medium, where we finally got a lot of features that were implemented in 1.17, but weren't actually accessible in the game. Granted, we still didn't have some of the Deep Dark stuff, but whatever. This update still deserves its spot here, just for the huge changes in terrain generation that we've seen, making the scenery in Minecraft better looking than ever before. Have you ever seen those screenshots of insane landscaping in Minecraft and just wish the base game looked like that? Well, that's basically what this update added, with stunning plains, hills, cliffs, mountains and more, and that's just overground. Moving underground, we of course have brand new cave generation, not to mention the brand new dripstone and lush caves as well to spice things up. The underground actually looks so beautiful in this update, so if you ever wanted to build your own dwarven kingdom underground, wow, this update actually made it viable. The world itself actually got a lot bigger too, both in the negative Y and the positive Y directions, giving you even more space for exploration and building. Plus, as you can probably expect by now, a bunch of behind the scenes and small quality of life improvements that make a big difference in the game overall. So even though it pretty much just actually made a bunch of the features that 1.17 already added accessible, and the entire fiasco still left a sour taste in a lot of players' mouths, it is still objectively a fantastic addition to the game that changed the way Minecraft looks forever. Oh boy, is this a controversial one. Well, okay, I say that, but I'm pretty sure that all the, well, kind of unjustified negative feelings towards this update have basically just withered away at this point. Yes, it's 1.9, the combat update. The one that for many ruined Minecraft by changing the way combat works by adding a delay. Yes, to many players, the game was quote-unquote ruined by the fact you can't spam attack anymore. The horrors, I know. Anyway, enough about that before I get a bunch of lovely comments in the comment section, as it is the combat update, it mostly focuses on combat elements, like the addition of lingering potions, and the corresponding tipped and spectral arrows, not to mention shields as well, and with shields we of course also got dual wielding, though if it was only combat there would be no way this would make it into the list. There's a lot more to it, seeing how this is pretty much the closest we ever got to an end update, and seeing how even 8 years later we still haven't seen any other major changes to the final dimension of the game, I'll take it at this point. Here we saw the introduction of the end isles and of course the end cities, which not only means all the fancy new blocks, but of course, well, the elytra. Now granted, it wasn't as useful at this point because rocket boosting wasn't introduced yet, so we were in a very weird period of time when people got around by either shooting themselves with a bow or making those absolutely insane elytra launchers using boats and entity cramming. It was a very weird time. And getting to the end was also made a lot easier, as the amount of strongholds that spawned in the world was dramatically increased. And if you ever want to beat that giant purple lizard again, well you can, because Dragon Resurrecting was added in as well. Add to that new variants of the command blocks, opening up even more possibilities for custom experiences, bunch of random additions like beetroots and grass paths, and tons of tweaks and balances to make the game even more fair, and it was an overall amazing update, but it feels like I'm missing something. Oh yeah, of course, the igloos. Those are fun, right? And very, very useful. Okay, I'm just messing with you. Of course, one of the biggest additions to this update was the brand new enchantments, including Frostwalker. Like, that has to be the biggest enchantment in the update, right? Yeah, okay, I get it. To call mending a game-changing enchantment would still be an understatement. Before, the sad reality was that all tools and armor would eventually break, and the only way to prevent your favorite items from breaking was, well, to not use them, which is kind of counterintuitive. Yes, even unbreaking couldn't save them, but now mending actually made all your favorite weapons, tools, armor and more actually last forever, making them fully repairable via XP. It also led to a kind of renaissance when it comes to XP farms, because now large amounts of XP in bulk became oh so necessary to repair all your damaged objects. And seeing how this was the very first update since the Microsoft acquisition, there was a lot of questions and expectations about what this new era of Minecraft would look like. And for all of those amazing things, 1.9, you're now officially crowned the second best update Minecraft has ever given us. And finally, at number 1, the best update that Minecraft has ever produced, as of now at least, it's none other than 1.14, Village and Pillage, released in April of 2019. It completely overhauled the dated villager mechanic, giving these guys a new lease on life, making them actually smart, kind of, to an extent, making them more believable as actual people and inhabitants of this world you share with them, making trading so much more immersive and useful, not to mention the fact that villagers actually looked good for once. And while people always wanted more workstations in Minecraft to open up new possibilities, wow, this update added a lot of them, given how each villager now needed their own workstation block to go to, meaning that Mojang gave us an absolutely mind-blowing amount of actually useful new utility blocks. Well, maybe apart from the fletching table, which still so many years later still doesn't have a use. And this update expanded a lot on these very strange grey guys that were introduced originally in 1.11, with a brand new raid mechanic being unlike anything we've ever seen in Minecraft before. This update also gave us the brand new textures for Minecraft, giving it a fresh coat of paint and making it look more modern than ever. I could talk about this update for so long because there's so much here, so let's just quickfire them. Ironic because the first thing I wanted to mention was the brand new campfires. But there's also scaffolding, bells, lanterns, crossbows, the banner pattern mechanic, suspicious stew, berry bushes and more. It is a big, juicy update that likes of which we haven't seen before or since. And now we have to live with the realization that we'll probably never get another groundbreaking update like this ever again. But one can hope. And please, Mojang, just give us an end update, please. And there it is, our choices for the top 7 updates that Mojang ever gave us for Minecraft, or at least in the full release of the game. I know that you guys probably have quite a few opinions about the choices here, so let me know. What exactly would you swap around in this list? What would you add and what would you remove? And what would a future update have to look like for it to end up on this very list? Again, let me know all of that down in the comments below. I'm definitely curious to hear what you guys think of our selection. But apart from that, make sure to subscribe to Pixel Pioneers for more videos like this one in the future, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.